Leicester Till I Die TV. Your first choice for everything Leicester City. Tune in and join in now. Broadcasting live worldwide.
Are you ready? I'm saying, are you ready?
This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here. Now be sure to watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV by subscribing on YouTube and following them on social media for all the latest Leicester City news and information. Come on you foxes!
Strap yourself in.
Because we're set up, switched on and ready to go.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
Good evening, fellow Fox fans. How the devil are we? Well, it's gone. It started. We got to win. Couldn't ask for much more, really, could we? It's Leicester Till I Die. I've got an excuse. I am actually, I've been sucking on a fisherman's friend all day. His name is Julian, and he's now under the desk returning the favour. But that's another show. But I have got a really bad cough and cold. Julian, down now. Thank you. So it is Leicester Till I Die TV. It's the opposition show. We're on Facebook, Leicester Till I Die, the group. We're on Twitter at Leicester TID, and if you are on YouTube, we are heading towards 1,000. Please give us a sub. Press my buttons. I love being my buttons being pressed. Julian will tell you. It's a Leicester Till I Die TV. We are talking Wolverhampton. I'm happy. Somebody who might not be happy, but we'll bring him in anyway. And that's my guest this evening, Ed. Good evening, Ed. How are you? Oh, I can't hear you, Ed. Are you on mute?
Oh, yeah, the old muted mic. I'm good. I'm as good as I could possibly be after the weekend. But yeah, nice to see the season started and fans back in the stadium. That's the biggest thing.
It's nice to have proper natural sound as you're watching a football game, even if it's slightly on a screen that we don't mention. I've got to ask you before we start here. Excuse me. How happy are you with your owners?
I think when they came in, they promised us a lot, and the first couple of years they delivered. Recently, I think due to the pandemic and everything that's gone on behind the scenes, I think they've struggled quite a lot. But overall, I'd say I'm quite happy. Yeah, I think they've got a sense of direction, which we've lacked in the past. So I'm relatively happy with them, yeah.
The only reason I'm asking is because this was published today on Sky. Now, you're actually you're not actually in that top section there. I cut it off. I do apologise. But Leicester fans, what 94.6% of you are happy with our chairman? Now, the other 5.4%, what the hell do you want? I mean, the guy gave you free beer and water. Well, I say beer, it was Foster's, but never mind. Before the game, I mean, I really, really don't know. They do say, don't they, Ed, that you can never please 100% of football fans.
Yeah, you can't please everyone. No, I can't believe that stat.
No, I can't. But I'm like, oh. Well, I just wonder what they've got to do. I really do. But before we go any further, bit missing me, but we did go off on a little bit of a tangent there. Give a shout out to how people can find you on your socials.
So YouTube is Ed Haig or Ed Haig Football, one of the two. And then Twitter is at Ed Haig S_journo. It's a bit of a mouthful. But yeah, I do. I'm on my journalism stuff, trying to get my name out there, and have a YouTube channel talking all about football and vlogs and stuff like that. So yeah, trying to forge your way out there in the world.
Well, good luck with that. And there's a link to your YouTube channel in the YouTube description below. So be sure to go and check that out. It's not just Wolves that you do, is it?
No, it's football in general. I think on the main one, I do mostly a lot of Wolves, but on the football one, I do football in general. I've got access to press boxes and stuff like that. So lots of good content over there.
Yeah. Welcome to Ankit. Also behind Chelsea Fan TV, another great channel. And he was surprised to see where Chelsea's owner is, because he's happy with Roman. Yes, thought you might be somehow. And Rob saying there, Julian's doing a good job. He is, but then I pay him enough. I'm going to be honest with you here, Ed. I'm a little bit worried about Wolves this season. You had a great manager, Nuno, who's brought you up. He's got you into Europe. Keep sucking, Julian. Got you into Europe, and yet, well, I don't know if he walked, it was mutual or whatever, but I thought he was a perfect fit for you, and you didn't have a particularly awful season last season.
No, I think, well, certainly when I saw the tweet and when I saw the news broke, I was devastated and confused. I think as a lot of Wolves fans were. But then you sort of dig a little bit deeper and you start to see that there were small cracks behind the scenes. And I think Conor Cody came out a few weeks ago and said the club felt like it needed a refresh. And when Conor Cody's saying stuff like that, you start to see that it wasn't all right. And yes, we didn't have a bad season. We didn't have a bad season at all. But I think it was time for change. I think the old adage is that he's taken the club as far as they can go. That might have been the case with Nuno. I think we were sort of cut a bit short by the injury to Raul. I would have liked to see what Nuno could have done with Raul still fit. But then again, I'm excited for Bruno Lage and see what he can do, because I thought we'll get on to it as the stream goes. I thought Saturday we showed signs, but we weren't quite there yet. But I think as the season goes on, I'm hopeful that we can do quite well.
A lot of people actually disagreeing with me. I'm going to be honest with you here. Terry Fuller, I think Wolves can make top 10 easily. Rob saying, thought Wolves played well on Saturday, you'll be fine. I have got Wolves, I've got to be honest with you. And I think because I just wondered whether we were going to see like a Sheffield United reaction when they had their manager disappeared. And, that was such a good bond as well. And if Brendan ever was to lose Leicester, I just could see you maybe struggling and finishing that maybe sort of 10th to 15th, but places. But that said, second half, it was the old proverbial, I think, game of two halves. Second half on Saturday, you were throwing the kitchen sink at us.
Yeah, I think initially when I did my predictions video a few days ago, I've got us finishing 12th. So I think we will be in and around that mid-table slot. I think going forward, we look good. I think we've seen it against Celta Vigo in the final preseason friendly. We were good going forward. And when we played with intensity, we threw the kitchen sink at them as we did with you. But we just couldn't find a way through. I think this will be the thing for Wolves this season. We can build up and get to the edge of the box. But then can we put the ball in the net? I think that's going to be the big thing. And then at the back, we do have defensive issues. I think the big one, which I spoke about to you before, was Vardy and his runs in behind and how we're going to be able to cope with the pace of Vardy and Barnes, and then with Maddison in behind. We didn't cope with that at all. We let Vardy run in behind and he had a field day pretty much. I'm surprised he didn't score a couple more. So I think we will be fine. I think it will be a progressive season. I think we'll get better as the season goes on. But I don't think we'll hit the heights that we did under Prime Nuno.
No. I mean, I'm just looking, and it kind of backs you up here. Leicester, we had 9 shots, goal attempts. You had 17, so almost double what we had. But 56% of ours was on target. Only 18% of yours was.
Exactly, yeah. I think a couple of those were speculative efforts, but we're very good at building up, and I think that's one thing I've noticed under the new manager. We're good in possession of the ball, and we play with good width, and we are good on the ball and move it around very well. But when we get to that final third, and when we get to the edge of the box, that last pass sort of isn't there, and that's been the case for a few years. So I don't know if it's down to the manager or the players or lack of confidence or whatever it is, but I think we're just missing that little edge. And I think as we go on, we will get better at that, but that's going to cost us points at the start of the season, because if you look at the stats at face value, we were good money for that draw, pretty much, maybe even 3 points on value of the stats. But if you look at the game, it didn't really look like that. So I think the stats read well for us, but it's not played on paper, is it? Football's played on the grass, not on paper. So we need to convert those shots, those speculative efforts into clear-cut chances, which if I remember rightly, we didn't have many clear-cut chances apart from that Traore one.
I'm just when it actually says, well, I'm looking on the Leicester website here, and it says big chances. You had 1, we had 0. So how we managed to score when we don't even get a big one? Excuse me, I don't know. Rob McFarlane said here, good evening, Rob. How the devil are you? Thanks for joining us. He thought your right back Hoover looked good. You could say he cleaned everything up.
Yeah, he was very good. I was very impressed with him. I think he's been, we got him as part of the Jota deal last season, and I think he's been one guy that's come in, and he's not our first team right back. Semedo is, but with Semedo out, he's a very good option to have, and I think he's going to improve over the years and become a very, very good fullback. That's what I can say.
And I was, you can see from the smile, I was really pleased with myself with that joke there, can't you? Yeah. And Terry says here, and I kind of worked it out through his spellings, Traore, if he could have had a good end product, he'd be world class. I mean, I'm again on the BBC website, he actually was your second most, what your fans voted for your second best player. But I noticed on one of the other Wolves websites, they were actually pulling him to bits over that performance.
He's a player that splits opinions, definitely. I think I personally like him just because if you watch the highlights of that game, all of our chances come from Traore. He's the only player that creates anything for us, really, or did yesterday, and that was a big part of last season. It was Traore and Neto that created a lot for us last season, and I think if you take those two out of the game, we don't create anything. We create a half chance from Neves in midfield. So I think Traore is one of those players that, as Terry says, got it all, but apart from that end product. And Bruno Lage said it himself, I think. The manager said, and don't quote me on this, but I think he said if he had end product, he'd be playing for one of the top sides in the world. And that's true. I think that season where he ran the league rampant and got however many assists for Real, he was linked with Barcelona and Liverpool. So he's got the quality there. He just needs that end product, and he creates us lots of chances. But at the same time, as I said earlier, we need to take these chances. So he's a player that splits opinion, definitely. But I personally like him just because he gets bums off seats when you're in the ground. Everyone stands up to when he's got the ball. He's entertaining to watch, and he's our main creative player.
One player of your players that I was interested in, well, two I was actually looking at interested in. One of them, Trianco, I think, and again, forget my pronunciation because I'm useless at this. Of course, we were heavily linked with him for the past 12 months or so. You've obviously got him. I think if there's the Portuguese player available, he comes to Wolves. It's almost sort of, UEFA have written it down somewhere. It was a first competitive game, I think, for you, wasn't it? Yesterday, the weekend. If we say yesterday, people know what we mean. How pleased were you with him?
He's another one that split opinion yesterday. I was talking to my mate, and he thought he was a passenger, and I thought he was very good. I think it's clear to see the quality and the talent that he's got. He's a very talented player, and you can see that he's sort of learnt off Messi. He's got that very sort of Messi-esque touch and dribble about him. I think he's got the basics there, the workings of a very good player. He just needs that time to develop a little bit, and hopefully this season can be his sort of breakthrough season. I think his potential is off the charts almost. I think we've got a option to buy of £25 million, which on face value looks an incredible deal. But I think yesterday he showed signs like the whole squad did. He showed signs of playing very well, but just lacked that end little product and that little bit of urgency to, I don't know, break a line or pick up a pocket of space or dribble with the ball and beat a man, which we were missing yesterday. So I think he's got the makings of a very good player. Just needs that little bit of confidence and impetus to take a risk. But yesterday I thought he was one of our best players. I think a lot went through Traore and a lot went through Trincao. I do think we were playing him in the wrong system, though. I think if you look at that, there's a screenshot going around Wolves Twitter of Traore on the ball on the left and Jimenez completely free in the middle. And that's because Traore is playing on the left and Trincao is playing on the right, but Traore's only got his right foot. So I do think he's been used in a front three that rotates and moves around. I think if he was just on that right wing or that left wing, he could use that, hit both of his feet a lot better than Traore can. So that's what I was disappointed with.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the things that the stream I was watching, that Traore won't, he'll tend to more likely go for glory himself than put somebody through who's got a good scoring chance. And yeah, that's good if he's scoring 25 odd a season, but annoying if he's not.
Yeah, definitely. I think that chance yesterday was because he doesn't want to use his left foot, or he doesn't trust it. He's very, very one-footed, and we've seen that over the years that he's been at Wolves. But I think his football brain is so confusing, because 1 week he'll look like the best footballer in the world. He's made all the right decisions on the ball. The next week he'll try and beat 5 players and take a shot when he could have given it to Raul, who's next to him, to score. So his football brain is very, very confusing. I think it's not the best, and that's what he's trying to work on. But yeah, I think, I don't know. He's one of those players, Traore. You'll never know what you're going to get with him. It's either going to be world class and can win you the game single-handedly, or you're just sat there left confused.
The other player I wanted to quickly mention on Wolves, and I think for me, this has to be the season when he makes the breakthrough, Connor Cody. I mean, he's flirted. He's been in the England side. He didn't have a bad game, but this is the season where, if he is going to be as good as he potentially could be, that he needs to do it, isn't it?
Definitely. I think there's been a lot of good with Connor Cody recently, but at the same time, we've seen flaws in his game. We've seen flaws that when he's one-on-one defending, he can be a little bit exposed. But I think Saturday he had a good game, to be fair. I think he marshaled that defence well. And there are a number of occasions where, whether it was Vardy or Barnes, were through on goal, and Connor Cody's come in with a last-ditch tackle to prevent a shooting opportunity. So I think he played good. He played well on Saturday. But yeah, I do agree completely that this is his season to really break through. He's getting on a bit now, and he was being linked with a move to Liverpool a few seasons ago after we came up to the Premier League. Yeah. So I think if he really, really wants that and really, really wants to progress and prove how good he is, this is a vital season for Connor Cody. But you can't take anything away from him. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He gives 100%. And he is when we play a back three, he is crucial to that back three. If we didn't have Cody, we wouldn't play a back three. No chance.
And just say hello to Miss Melina there. Who? How long have I known you, Melina? Honestly, these Canadians they're a tough. They're a tough crowd. She doesn't get my sense of humour. I was trying to explain a joke I said to her earlier, and at the end of it, I think I'd got to the point where I didn't understand it myself. Terry, you make the very good point here. Wolves should be proud. You nearly got a point off the FA Cup and Super Cup holders, Terry. It is the Super Cup. I refuse to call it the whatever shield that it is. It's the FA Cup holders versus the Premier League champions. Therefore, it is the English Super Cup. But I have to thank you because they've never been high scoring games apart from that 1-4-3 a few seasons ago. They've always been 0-0s, 1-1s, or 1-0 either way. But I was trying to work out whether Daniel Amati in our defence had actually switched shirts at half time and had decided to play for you guys because he was putting some good balls through for your strikers.
Exactly, which is why I'm bemused that we didn't score. We had the chances to score. And yeah, as I keep saying, it's that final ball, it's that final end product that we've been missing for a couple of seasons now. And I think that's the issue in football in general, when you have wingers that are wingers and wingers that are not inverted forwards or strikers who, they're brilliant on the ball, but when it comes to off the ball, I'm sure there's some people at Leicester down the years that have been like this. When they're on the ball, they're unplayable, but when it comes to being in front of goal, they do really struggle to put it in the net. And I think that is the issue that Wolves have sometimes, that Raul is really our only goal scorer. I mean, that was proved last season when Raul was injured from November onwards. He had 4 goals, and our top scorer was Neto and Neves with 5. So that was our problem.
And like I say, it was a big thank you because Amati, he's kind of one of those utility players, but which is handy to have. But you just do wonder whether there's actually ever one position that he's really good at. A bit like a Phil Neville, if you like, if you're old enough to remember when he played. You can stick him probably anywhere and he'd do an okay job, but he wasn't fantastic. But he had a really good Community Shield against Man City. But I think from his second half performance, Amati, you could see why we went out and bought Vestergaard. And I've just got to say, as a club, and going back to the club owners, we have an injury to one of our players on the Wednesday. By the following Wednesday, we've got another player in being signed, ready to play on the Saturday. And I just love this club at the moment. And also thank you for letting Jamie Vardy score, because he's not got one for now quite a few games, and we were getting a little bit worried. But he does have these periods, Jamie Vardy, and every game he needs to score, he needs this goal, and it wasn't a bad one, was it?
No, he took it very well. Took it very, very well. Actually, I think when I saw it, I was questioning the defending on the Ricardo Pereira challenge. I thought we could have been firmer then, but once the cross came in, he did everything that a striker should do. He got across the front man. He got a little flick on it. He recognised how fast the cross was coming in, and he directed it goalwards and did a brilliant job. So, yeah, it was a great goal. But from a Wolves point of view, personally, I think we have to stop Ricardo Pereira there. I think you can't let someone go past 2 players that easily. If you have to, bring him down. And so I think we lacked a little bit of game management then. But as for Vardy's finish, it was an incredible finish, and taking nothing away from Pereira, who was brilliant and has been brilliant for a number of years for you, hasn't he?
Yes. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, as Leicester fans, and not just Leicester fans, there's a lot of clubs out there that have had injury problems. None as big as Liverpool, if you listen to their fans, though. But you forget how good, or certainly as Leicester fans, we forget how good we actually can be when we've got everybody fit. I thought Harvey Barnes was causing your defence major problems.
Yeah, down that left-hand side, he was brilliant. I think that offered another string to your bow almost. I think with Vardy spinning in behind, Matt, your other midfielder.
Oh, you're freezing, Ed. Has Ed I think Ed has frozen on us there. Rob, let's just have a look what Rob's saying here. We'll find out where we are next Monday. Was West Ham look tasty? They did rather, didn't they? I tuned in late for that. And if you can still hear me, by the way, Ed, you're doing the impersonation. Oh, you're back.
We're back.
You're back. You were doing your Elisa there, and you were frozen. So you were saying.
I was saying something about a string to your bow. With Vardy making the runs, the runs in behind, which gave our three centre backs a lot of issues. I think the wide men and the midfielders in behind capped that Vardy display off very, very well, and I think they supported him excellently.
They did. And what do you think? And I'll ask you about Leicester in a second, but what do you think Wolves can achieve this season?
I think we could have if everything goes right, we could have a very progressive season. It's the first season that the new manager's here. His philosophies and ideas are going to take some time to come to fruition. But I think we can have a progressive season and we can sort our issues out for next season when we can really push for that top 7 again. I don't think we're going to get that this season. I think other clubs are too strong. But I think if this can be the season that we can breed the young players in and then get some signings in and the philosophies that the new manager has, if they can take shape on the pitch, I think we can have a very, very progressive season, and then we can look forward to next season when we can really start to challenge. But that's if everything goes right. If everything goes wrong, we could be in trouble. Who knows? But I'm a positive fan, so I'm going to say everything's going right.
Yeah, excuse me. Julian's not doing a very good job at the moment. And I know it's going to be very difficult for you to judge on one game, but this is something I'm going to be asking every fan on here is, having seen Leicester, and I know it was for only 90 minutes, do you think this is the season when, although the so-called big four have, no disrespect to Spurs and Arsenal, but I think it is a big four at the moment, have spent... although I do hope Man City kept the receipt there, because that was a lot of money they spent and didn't seem to get an awful lot from it. But do you think this is the season you can see Leicester breaking into the top 4, or do you think, again, 5th or 6th will possibly where we finish, or even lower?
If I'm honest, I don't think Leicester will break into that top 4, just not because Leicester aren't good enough to. I think because that top 4 have strengthened so well. I think if you look at Chelsea, they've gone up another 10 levels with the signing of Lukaku. If you look at United, that Sancho and Varane are going to take them to another level. Liverpool, with Van Dijk coming back, will be like a new signing for Liverpool. So I don't think Leicester will get in the top 4 just because the top 4 are so good. I put Leicester 5th, so I think it'll be close, but I just don't think you'll have enough.
I must admit, right at the start, the end of last season, I did put us 5th again, which I would be very happy with because it's still European football and we are Leicester after all. But I don't know. This is the season, I think, when we can just edge Liverpool out, and who knows. And for Wolves, is that it for the transfer window for you, or do you think you're going to sneak anybody in the last couple of weeks?
I hope that's not it, because we need some signings. Definitely, we need a centre back. I think the way that Leicester have conducted themselves in getting Vestergaard in is brilliant. I think that's exactly what you want as a fan. That must fill you with so much confidence, seeing the board act that quickly. Whereas we've had centre-back issues for so long and we haven't done anything about it. I think if you look at the squad, the back that we came up with from the Championship to the Premier League is still the same. We haven't signed a centre-back since getting promoted. So we badly need a centre-back. So I hope that isn't it for the transfer window. But if I'm being realistic, I think we'll see 1, maybe 2 signings come in, but nothing to really break the bank, because I don't think we can. We've been told that we have to sell to buy. So I'm not too confident.
Would you like a Jose Perez?
I'll take Perez. I'll take him. Just Little bench warmer.
We'd let you have him, bless him. There's always one player. Brendan Rodgers sees something in him, and he just doesn't fill the fans. You know, he doesn't set us on fire. He's just sort of like, what's he doing this? You know, he's one of those. Do you know what I mean? But we still, I think, need the right winger. But but you beat us to Trianco. But you know, let's fingers crossed. You know, it's not the end of the world. And I think that cover for Fofana was the important thing. And yeah, seeing. I mean, I know we've been after him for a while, but the speed that he went at, you know. And I just wonder if Southampton are going to have any players left by the end of the season.
I know, yeah. Ward-Prowse will be off soon, won't he?
Well, excuse me. I think he will. I think he could be. Ed, thanks so much for popping on. I know you've got things to do and places to go. I'd say sorry we beat you, but you know I'm not. And we'll maybe get together again for the second game later in the season.
Definitely, yeah. Definitely.
Brilliant, mate. You take care. Thanks very much.
And you.
All the best.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers now. And thanks for the 3 points. I had to say it. All the best. Stay safe, mate.
And you, mate. See you a bit.
Bye-bye. Thanks to Ed there. His link to his channel is in the YouTube description below. So, let's have a look at what we thought of our players, what Leicester thought of the players. Let me just bring these up here because Alan Bennett, who does our man of the match, and he rates the manager, rates the team, and picks a player of the match. Jamie Vardy, he picked as his man of the match. And to be honest with you, so did the BBC viewers on that game. He was their overall man of the match for both teams. And yeah, I mean, he got the goal and he probably deserved it. There was one or two that could have possibly had it. But he got it. He got the goal, and it was great. He needed that goal for me. You know, I know. Look at Jamie. I mean, he you remember when he got the 11 in a row, and then he went 4 or 5, 6 without scoring at all. It's what Jamie does. Hopefully, this will be the one that gets him back on track. He's been so close. I think, you know, maybe we've underestimated some of these players. You know, they've come back from their injuries, and they haven't come back 100%. And sometimes he just takes the edge. I mean, you know, he's say 34 now. Is he 32, 34? He's getting on a little bit, and it does take him that bit longer just to, you know, get back to that little touch, you know. And he's had them. I mean, you know, he's very, very close in the FA Cup final and the Community Shield. He got it against Wolves. Let's hope that that's it, and he kicks on going on to that. Scott says here, good evening, Scott. Thanks for joining us. Leicester will push for top 4, but I think we'll come up short again. Open ranking can change his fortunes in the Europa League. I mean, I've gone out on a limb here. I've got... Sorry, just reading Terry's comment. Excuse me. I got Leicester to finish 5th and win the Europa League. So, hey, there's nothing. Hey, you know, Leicester will either do it all or do nothing. I think the West Ham game will be a good battle. Definitely need to get 3 points. It will be hard to achieve that. Do you know what? I was surprised. I missed the start. I kind of, when I tuned in, I think it was 3-2. I just missed the third West Ham goal. I kind of wasn't sure about that because I think West Ham will struggle there because last season, let's be honest, they punched well above the weight. West Ham, they punched well above their weight, and they haven't got Lingard, and he kind of saved the season for me. We might have him yet. Who knows if you believe, you know, one of the thousands of reports about players being linked with us. But then again, they were playing Newcastle, you know, so I don't kind of, it was the first game of the season. So there was a lot of strange results out there. But yes, it could be this, to be honest with you, Terry. Yeah, Wolverhampton fans' man of the match was Amati. Do you know what? I want Amarty to do well, but for me, Amarty is a squad player. You know, he will come in if there's an injury or if there's a suspension, and he'll do what he needs to do for one game. But then I saw the Man City game, and he was up there for man of the match. I'm thinking, well, okay, he was back to his old self, wasn't he? And thank God we bought Vestergaard. And I've got to be honest with you, I think that's an amazing signing. You know, how many other clubs have an injury on the Wednesday? By the following Wednesday, they've got a player having a medical, getting ready to sign so he can play on the Saturday. Vestergaard, man mountain, 6'6" or 6'7". We might even get him on the end of some crosses and corners. Who knows? Unleashed Daka against West Ham. Surprised he didn't bring him on, to be honest with you, towards the end there. I know he'd made, before he made his other substitutions. Excuse me, Julian, come on, you're doing a very good job here. Inacho came on for Barnes. He said, this is the problem. He said, Brendan is going to have to start keeping everybody happy because, how can you not play Inacho after the way we ended last season? But then again, Daka looks amazing prospect. So, hey, who'd be a manager? Nippon, good evening. Go Chelsea fan, but it's nice to have you along. RC Bayern Chelsea Fan TV. Go and check them out there. Nippon. Sorry, I'm getting my Chelsea fans mixed up. Yes, Nippon Sharma is his channel. Go and check that out. He's a Chelsea fan. They are European champions, but of course they didn't win the FA Cup. When do we play each other? I'm not sure. To be honest with you, Nippon. Devils United, how do? Have you finished collaborating tonight with Stephen there, Maze? Yeah, we know what sort of collaboration. Again, check out Devils United, Man United channel. She's joining us on Wednesday for the Prediction League. Great girl, great laugh, good at banter, and it's a good channel. Get over there and subscribe. David S., it should be a good battle versus West Ham, but I have to be honest, we have a better overall squad now. Barnes is back, Pierre is back to his best, and they don't have Lingard anymore. Shouldn't beat us, to be honest with you. No, they shouldn't. And this is the thing, right? And I said this just before, looking at Pierre and how he set that goal up for Vardy, looking at how Vardy took it, looking at Barnes making those runs, I just wonder how far we can go this season, because I'm glad I'm not Brendan Bertrand didn't play. Didn't realise he had COVID. Otherwise, because I was thinking, how could you drop Bertrand? But Luke Thomas had a fantastic game. Who would be a manager, eh? Who would be a manager? Hello, Matthias. How are you? Nice to you. Thanks for joining us. I really believe that we're going to play Champions League football next season. I'm presuming you're a Leicester fan. If you're a Man City fan, yeah, you probably are doing anyway. Nippon says, Chris, without bias, should Harvey Barnes start for England ahead of Bukayo Saka? And it's not, don't ask me, I'm biased. That said, Saka had an absolutely fantastic game. We've played games for England in the Euros, so big up to him there. Harvey Barnes, two prospects, and again, if you're an England manager, it's great to have that choice. It really is. But if Arsenal want, Maddison, we'll do your swap for you with Saka. We really do. Melina, did you know Leicester won the FA Cup? I'd forgotten. I had forgotten, but thank you for reminding me. Yes, we did, And Stephen's here. Surprise, surprise. Welcome, Stephen. How the devil are you? Thanks for popping along. Thanks for joining us. So let's just have a look, because what I'm going to do now, just bear with me. Just talk amongst yourselves for a moment. I'm hoping this is going to work, because if it doesn't, I'm going to look a total knob. Let's have a look. Will this work? No, it won't. Okay. So I was going to bring up, I have to do it this way then. And let's have a look at the player ratings that all the Leicester players got. So here we go. Let's just get rid of that that comment there. Don't mean get rid of Stephen. That wouldn't be very nice. But here we go. So, Brian, who does our match ratings, we've got Alan, who does the man of the match and the overall team and overall manager. But Brian does our reports, and then he also does the individual team ratings there. So I don't know whether you guys agree with that or not, but looking at it there, we've got Luke Thomas. He's there at his man of the match. Although he did say it was pretty a difficult choice between Luke and Jamie Vardy, but Luke got a 9. And again, this is going to give Brendan a real headache when it comes to Luke Thomas or Ryan Bertrand. Who do you go for? It's a difficult one, isn't it? Getting 8 points, Piera, it's great. It was great to have him back. Soyuncu and, of course, our hero, Jamie Vardy. Soyuncu, and I was so glad that Brendan went out and got Vestergaard, because it does mean we can play a back 4. Because if we'd gone back 3, Soyuncu absolutely worries me. He really does on the left side of that back 3. I much prefer him in a back 4, and I think he plays better in a back 4. And he also can do his little Brazilian moves as well, which make me do amazing and fill me pants. But there we go. 7, Schmeichel, Tillemans, Ndidi, Harvey Barnes, Samari when he came on, Inacho. That is Vestergaard. I haven't got a picture of him in a Leicester top yet. I think he's actually, wearing a polo net there. And coming in with 6s, Madison, Perez, and Amati. Madison must be disappointed being put with those two. But do you agree with those ratings? That is a very good question. Maybe we'll do a show tomorrow. I'll ask you to give us your ratings. And of course, as Scott said here, we've also got James Justin to come back and Fafana back end of the year. This is going to be some team, I'll tell you. It really is. I can easily see us. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm going to big up Leicester here because I think it's about time we did. But I can really see us finishing in the Champions League places. And I've got to be honest with you, I think, if I just get rid of that comment there, so can 95% of our fans, or in fact 94.6% of our fans. And I asked this right at the top of the show. This was how popular board members, fans were with their board members and their owners. Not surprising, the bottom 2 were Newcastle bottom and Arsenal just above. But 94.6% think the Leicester owners are doing a good job and would want to keep them. The other 5.4%, who would you want to swap them for? And Man City, only 82%. Honestly, I actually sometimes, I've got to be totally honest with you, I do give up. Scott says here, Chris, are you prepared to get a tattoo if we win the Champions League next season? I did say, Scott, you did say, I did say, I should say, that I would get one if we won the FA Cup. I haven't got it yet, but we are still, until next May, the current FA Cup holder. So I've got a bit of time. After that, I've got a few hairs on my body, so there isn't really a lot of areas I've got left to be able to tattoo anything on. I suppose I could tattoo champions on my privates, couldn't I? And then at certain times of the day, it would actually say Champions of England 2015-16. Hey, see what I did there. Matthias, you say here, keep up. You're saying here the only thing missing is the right winger. Yes, I agree. I have a feeling once Castagna's back, that he's going to have the option of playing Castagna at right back and Piera, Ricardo on that right wing. As we know, that's not Perez's best position at all. So I think he'll move Ricardo up We've also got Albrighton, obviously, who's just signed an extension, but I do wonder, is that going to be enough covering injuries? And we saw last season it was one of the areas we need to improve. Who would you go for, Matthias? I did fancy Piera from West Brom, but of course he's gone over to fulfil his lifelong ambition of playing in Saudi Arabia. Is that anybody's lifelong football ambition to go and play in Saudi Arabia? Don't think it is it? Excuse me. I'm gonna have to get my fisherman friends out again here and have a talk. I had a COVID test early this morning, so if I'm not here tomorrow night at 7, you'll know I'm dead. So send the flowers, courtesy of Leicester City. I quite fancy Dan James. I really not fancy as in don't worry, Julian. That's still you. Keep me turning the favour. I do think that would be a good option, man. And I think we could probably get him on a loan because I don't know whether Man United would want to actually sell him or not. He's fast. Matthias, you say, yeah, Maduke. I don't know if we can pay for him at the moment. To be honest with you, I'm not sure either. That is a very good point because obviously we went and paid for Vestergaard. And I didn't think we could afford that, to be honest with you. I thought we were probably looking at a loan for that position as well. So, yeah, it's a very good point. So, but we'll see. 2 weeks. 2 weeks for people to come in. Arsenal, you've got 14 days left. Are you going to do it? We'll see. Nipham, I did say in a live stream to a few deluded Liverpool fans that if Liverpool in the league this season, I'm going to grow a moustache and shave half of it off. If it takes you as long as it took you to get your hair dyed blue, Nipham, we'll see. We'll see that in 5 years, then, mate. That is there. Somebody snip that now. Somebody go snip that out and save that, and we'll send that to Nipham's channel if Liverpool do it again. Yeah. Well done for coming out of the closet. I tell you what, why I moved down south. So many fishermen here on the south coast, you know. Guys, my throat's about to give up. Julian's getting backache under the table. Thanks a lot for joining. We're back tomorrow. I think we might have a couple of shows tomorrow, but definitely it's 7 o'clock. If you want to join us, if you want to be my lover, no, better Spice Girls there for you. So I thought I'd throw that in the mix there. We obviously every week we have the ex-players, and we've got a few extra ones join us this season that predict the scores every week. And this season we've got Steve Lynix, Ian Marshall, Steve Walsh, who did it last season. We've been joined by ex-player Ian Wilson, who you may remember if you're my age from the sort of 70s, 80s, and the big man himself, Jerry Taggart. And we're all on 1 point because we all predicted a win, but none of us got the score right. It is being sponsored that by the Long Ball. It's a very addictive football prediction game. It's a bit like the Super 6 on Sky. It's free to join. We're setting up a Leicester Till I Die prediction league on the Long Ball. Now, I don't know how it works. Brad does. Brad is the man. He's the man with all knowledge. And he's going to be coming on tomorrow at 7 o'clock. I may be joining him, depending how I feel. But he'll be coming on and he'll be talking you through. So it's free to join. There's no charge, no prize. It's just for a bit of fun. And we'll see if we can get that up and running. That's 7 o'clock next Tuesday. No, sorry, 7 o'clock tomorrow, Tuesday. You can see I need to go to bed. I really do. Thanks for joining us, guys. Thanks very much for your thoughts, Scott. I hope I feel better soon as well. Hope it's going to be a negative test. You never know. But remember, this is back.
The Premier League is back, and we've got it all covered here on Leicester Till I Die TV. Subscribe.
And we've got a Talk Sport presenter coming up in a couple of weeks' time that I'm going to be chatting to as well. So not only a TalkSport presenter, but a Leicester City fan. That's coming up in a couple of weeks. So this week, tomorrow, 7 o'clock, the long ball fantasy game. Going to get you signed up for that. Like I say, just need an email. No cost to join at all. And then on Wednesday, we're doing the prediction game when we're going to be having myself and Brad again. Can't keep Brad away. And Maisie from Devils United TV, who was our special guest this week and predicting a few goals. And then on Friday, it is back to normal with the preview show for West Ham. Have a good week, guys. Sorry the throat's gone. Sorry if I keep coughing all over you. Thanks for joining. Take care. Stay safe. Speak tomorrow at 7 o'clock.
Hello,
Good night.
Matt Elliott here. Be sure to watch Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and follow all their social media platforms for all the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye and see you next time.
To an end. But the fun doesn't have to stop here. If you have any questions, suggestions or feedback, head over right now to Twitter and Facebook and like, share and get involved. Join us next time.